kids, welcome to Miss Kramer's art class. Today we are creating this kind of relief print, mono print that is going to be corals, so you can do a turtle and things like that. We are going to use markers first to sketch our drawing, and then we are going to, you should have a paper towel or a wipe or something if you want to change something on your styrofoam. We're using styrofoams. These are about 4.5 by about 6 inches long, and we are going to create coral. And I was really inspired by this book. It is called the Coral Reef, Make Your Own Coral Reef. And basically, the pictures are really nice, and it's by Claire Beaton. She really inspired me with her pop-up coral scene. So these are some examples of corals and coral fish, angelfish and butterfly fish, clownfish, anemone. If you can see, that is inside of the coral. Everything is marked: hermit crab, lobster, sponge, sea turtle, stingray, sea urchin, all the elements we can put inside of our coral. We've got octopus, starfish. So all these ideas, and the drawings are absolutely stunning. So when you open the book, it talks about what is a coral reef, and coral reefs are ocean habitats teeming with life. Although the coral looks like a rock, in fact, it is a colony of tiny animals. They're called the coral polyps that feed on tiny creatures called zooplankton. And zooplankton is like a tiny little bacteria that, or you can think about it, a tiny little animal. Zoo means animal. Plankton is like a plant. It's like tiny little, it's almost like a living tiny bacteria, a little larger than bacteria. When old polyps die, they leave behind a hard shell and new polyps grow on this. So the coral grows from these tiny little polyps. Reefs take thousands of years to grow. There are also thousands of different types of coral, but they can be divided into two groups: hard coral and soft coral. So soft corals such as sea fingers and sea whips do not build reefs. All coral jewelry is made from soft coral. These sometimes can be red, so it's called sea finger coral. This one is called sea whip coral. This one is called hard coral, like brain coral. It's like a rock that you've seen on the beach that has kind of like this kind of structure that looks like brain. And elk horn coral have hard limestone skeletons that form a basis of coral reef. And all the drawings in the book have all these really helpful examples how to actually color your own and paint your own. So you can see everything that I showed you in the book, in the poster, is right here available. So you can kind of choose what you would like to draw on yours. This one is an example of an anemone, and I'm going to show you how to draw several of these. This is our coral scene, for example, and in the book, it also gives you like an idea how to make it 3D. So this is the part in the book that shows you how to make it 3D. So first you do a picture and then you attach the sides, and the side would be like this. So that would be attached right here when you bend it to the main picture. So you would have the main poster and then these on the side. And as you can see, a variety of colorful corals, and it just helps you visualize how our coral print is gonna look like. Because with this one print that we're gonna make, okay, we can actually make several and position them on several backgrounds. Because with one print that we can make series of pictures and print several pictures with just one. So we are gonna get started so that I can show you how it works in how it works actually. So these actually are pop-ups, so that come out from the book. So that's kind of a great idea. But we are gonna get started with this scene right here as our inspiration. And again, it's a wonderful book that this is how the scene looks like. And you can keep adding and create beautiful coral. We're gonna also add neon elements in our glow room, and then we're gonna make a beautiful, the whole room is gonna be full of coral. So we're gonna keep adding more different types of corals. Okay, so let's get started. So the first thing that we're gonna do, let's choose first like type of coral we want to do. And this is just an example how it looks like when we printed it. So I'm going to show you that, but we actually wetted the paper with a sponge, and this is the reverse. So when you turn the carving over, it's going to appear in reverse, and that's how I printed this turtle here. Okay, so that's how it's going to end up looking. So let's get first started. We are going to pick a type of coral we want to do. This one is pretty cute. Let's do this one first. So first thing that we're going to do is sign our name. And again, I'm using an example of a student. He did a great job signing his name, but when he was doing the fish, he kind of pushed too hard, and it's on the brink of breaking because it's like so deep that this thing might fall off. It didn't fall off, but just luckily so. So don't push so hard that it's gonna almost break, okay? So that's not what not to do. So we sign our name, and our class already did that. I'm just gonna say Miss Kramer, and I'm using blunt pencil. You can use any color, it really doesn't matter because at this point we're just carving, so to speak, into the styrofoam. So I'm gonna use a blunt pencil, Miss Kramer, right here, and class 001, you have your own class code. But when you run your finger over it, it's gonna be a little raised, okay? I'm actually gonna use this orange one because it doesn't matter on the color or what pencil it is. It just hopefully it's making an indentation inside of your beautiful styrofoam. I really like this little fish and this little coral, so let's get started with this one. And if I did the anemone, if I wanted to do the anemone, I can look at the color picture and then look at the picture here in the example of the drawing. For example, this one is on the cover of the book. So let me see how it looks like in color. Let me see, that's not the one. Is there one here? Okay. Right now I don't see that particular one. I'm sure it's here somewhere. I don't see it right now, but we're gonna do this one because I like the texture. I was just looking for the name of it. It looks kind of like a brain coral, but no, maybe not. Maybe it's staghorn coral, maybe is what it is. That's what I was looking for. Okay. And it shows you warm reefs and where the corals are growing to in this book. Really, really cool book. Cowfish. This is the cowfish. Cute because he has a horn. Jellies, you can add there, slugs, clams. Okay, so before you start actually using pencil or carving, use variety. You can pick a variety of awesome markers. And so I'll just pick one color for, it doesn't matter right now. And if you make a mistake, have something to erase it with. So I'm just gonna sketch a little coral coming here. So I'm gonna just start drawing. Hopefully you can see it. It's kind of light, but it's kind of like a wavy line. Maybe I should use brown just so you can see it on the video a little bit better. So I started with a round, kind of like a finger looking like, and I believe this is a staghorn coral, but we'll look it up later in the book. And so we're gonna get started, and I'm just doing like these wavy, as you can see, lines. It's almost like a heart shape on top, and you can put as many as you want to, and then some of these. And if you're happy with it, unless you wanted to erase something, like if I don't like this, I can go here and dry with your paper towel. And then if you wanted to change the look, you can change it. So it's easy to erase before you actually carve it. So it's super easy to erase. Then put all these textures on top. So that would be the limestone. If it's a hard coral like staghorn, which I think it is. And so then just take your pencil and go over your lines if you're happy with it. And you're gonna start pushing down as if you are carving. But again, don't push too hard so it doesn't about to break. Okay. These were good though. This one looks like maybe like a seaweed or kelp. So and they're not too deep. Only the fish was too deep. So this was actually done well. So you're going to go over the lines and make sure that everything is quote unquote carved out. You're making a plate relief. Relief spells R. Relief spells like this. R-E-L-I-E-F. Relief. And that is when you're drawing something that's going to come out and you can feel it. And I'm going to pause the video. I just want to say that it was so very inspirational for me to find this book in a bookstore in Winter Park, actually here in Florida. And I was so excited about make your own coral reef. And we're going to be making our glow-in-the-dark coral reef. That's going to look something like this. And we are learning about corals right now and science standards and marine biology. And please watch our Guy Harvey video about other activities from the training from Guy Harvey Foundation. So today we start doing this one in color. I found it finally. It's right here. So right now we're going to start with this coral right here. I believe it's a staghorn coral. Let me show you one more time here in the book that we have different types of corals, the hard and the soft corals. This one is called sea finger coral. This one is called sea whip coral. And this one is called elk horn coral. And this one is called brain coral. Okay, so we are learning about corals. And these are the backgrounds that are pop up in this book. If you buy this book and order it online, you can find these scenes of different types of corals that pop out. So I can show you this one already worked. So I can pop it out like that. And this is part of the structure. So one side. And I can pop out the other items, like these can be freestanding corals, and I really love these pop-up scenes. Okay, and we are making our own print. So we are gonna build a structure like this. Stand the coral reef on a flat surface and the side flaps. So you flap the side like this, and then you can glue it to a flat surface, and it's just gonna stand on its own and create a 3D scene, right? Like that. You can see examples, and then you're gonna get them out, pop them out. But ours are gonna have glow-in-the-dark crayons and glow-in-the-dark also markers. And did you know that markers that are highlighters all glow in the dark? So it's so easy to create amazing paintings for the darkroom using just highlighters. So that is an awesome thing. So we're going to pop all these out, and we are gonna build a scene. We are gonna make ours by printing, so we can use it over and over. So for example, I have all these elements, and I'm gonna construct amazing background. So for example, something like this would be in the middle, and then these are gonna attach to the side like that. See, it continues here. It actually fits right there. It continues right here, and this side continues right under here. So the book already comes in with this 3D scene, and how amazing this is. It's amazing. So, but ours is going to start. We are going to also get inspired by this, again, by Claire Beaton, Make Your Own Coral. But we're going to actually take it one step further. And when we're making our scene, we're going to print it using our styrofoam. So we can use this turtle and put it on many different backgrounds. So again, I'm going to show you how to print this. But today there is a special video just how to do a turtle. But today we are going to be making a coral. So we're going to start with this staghorn coral. Okay, so first thing that we're going to do is when you're using your pencil, don't push so hard. Again, let me remind you one more time that you're gonna go almost all the way through because you might break the styrofoam. Don't go as far. It's better to have a blunt pencil and not such a sharp pencil. Don't use really sharp one. It's better to have a blunt one or something in the middle, something like this. It doesn't matter on the color because this is not gonna show. Okay, so first thing that we are gonna continue doing, like we started, we're going to actually pick a coral. So how about right now, let's pick a coral. This is a sponge. Let me see all the different corals here. We've got, wow, we've got an anemone. Let's do that one. That one is fun. The anemone, because clownfish lives in here, so I love anemones. This one is the brain coral. Okay. Let's see. There's a giant clam. There's a sea turtle, a lobster, crab, queen conch, seahorse, slug, starfish, hermit crab. So fun. So there is a parrotfish. Its beak look like a parrot. So that is really, really cool. Parrotfish. There's even a diver here for your coral reef. There's the staghorn coral, butterfly fish. This is a cowfish, right? Oyster, clam, scallop, jellyfish. Okay. So, and this one is just labeled coral. So how about we are gonna do the anemone now? So this is how we're gonna do it. First, just we're gonna make two lines that are kind of wiggly lines for the base. So it's sort of like a line that wiggles a little bit. And then we're gonna connect them on the bottom. And then from here, it's sort of like a little U shape. Like if it was a cup, you can sip from it, right? The lip of a cup. And from there, we're gonna have like these little lines for the anemones coming around. But we're gonna make these lines, we're gonna make them spread out, and then we're going to make them into like a little loop, almost like a seaweed looking or like kelp looking line, almost like a little leaf. Okay, almost like a little leaf. And I'm not pushing too hard, I'm just pushing a little hard. Don't push so hard, again, that it's gonna fall apart. Okay, just a little bit hard. For example, my turtle, like, okay, it's gonna work, don't worry. So you're pushing a little bit so you get the relief, R-L-I-E-F, relief. Okay, so it almost is like a sculpture that you can feel with your fingers, the indentations are coming out. So just push hard a little bit this way, go over it a couple of times so it comes out. And that's our anemone. And just keep going over it a couple of times. Not pushing too hard, but go over it so you're gonna get a nice strong line. And this is our first anemone part. Now we're gonna decide maybe what else we're gonna put here. So I'm gonna pause the video for a second and I'll be right back. I need to show you some examples here of staghorns that we did with our third graders. These are smaller, so and these are some larger. Each student kind of uses their own imagination, so it's up to you how your corals are every size. They really exist in natural world. See, in different sizes, so each one should be good. It doesn't really matter. You can create your coral out of your imagination even. Maybe it exists somewhere under the sea. But students did a really good with the staghorn coral. And they are raised really nice. So that's called relief that we talked about. I want to draw a clownfish next for our anemone. And I also wanted to draw more staghorn coral. So again, if you have a marker, you can even use a marker. So like this, you can pre-sketch it. So it's just a wiggly line. And this is a staghorn coral. And if you have a marker, you can make your own. And I just used sort of like a heart shapes at the end of each little piece of coral, like a branch of coral, you can call it, and little texture circles on top of it. Maybe that signifies the little polyps on top of the coral. And I put a lot of circles on top. So textures, and this is student artwork. So once you're happy with it, just be sure to go over it with the pencil so you quote unquote carve it. But don't go too deep again. But you're gonna carve all of these textures with a pencil, meaning you're gonna go over all of the lines one more time and push on them. But it's better to use any kind of blunt pencil again. Okay, so go push on it, create all these awesome textures on top. Okay, let's also create another scene. And again, I want you to see all these powerful, beautiful scenes, colorful scenes that we have here. I would like to make a cute little clownfish for our anemone. So let's go ahead and make a clownfish. This is a simple clownfish here. So I guess I'm gonna pre-draw my clownfish on top of my anemone. So like this, a little oval shape. Maybe you're gonna see it better if I use the red. And clownfish are red too. Sort of oval or like an eye shape. And then a fin shape, almost like a half circle. And then lines. Okay, a little fin on top and bottom. And now I'm gonna start carving it in, so to speak, with my pencil. I'll do a little eye. Mine is gonna have a smile. I'm gonna put those lines in. Little fin on top and on the bottom for my clownfish. And a little bit like that. Maybe I'll put another clownfish just peeking from here because she's living inside of the anemone. So I'm gonna put it like this. And I have a little clownfish sticking out from an anemone. That's a whole family like Nemo. Everybody knows Nemo and Dory. So we have a cute little clownfish here. And you see the anemone also kind of flips over into 3D. So you can even put some pieces of anemone coming in front of it like this, kind of spilling out, as you can see here. So that's the anemone, that's the brain coral. This is a sea urchin. We can add a little sea urchin here. So this is our staghorn. And maybe we'll add a school of tiny little fish like these here. So depending where you want to put yours, I can put a little school fish. So I'll just do one line this way, like a little eye shape. So oval shape with a little fin. And we're making this school of fish right there with little stripes. I'm going to put a school of fish right there. And you can put little stripes on them, like swimming around by the staghorn coral. How about we put sea urchin? This is sea urchin, right? You're gonna put a sea urchin. So it did happen in my class. So a student was trying to make a coral and push so hard that it did fall out. So, and that will happen and it will ruin your print. So please do not push so hard that we're gonna have to give you a new card. Like I said, that our space is limited. Our resources are very, very limited in our class. So we're really working on a tiny budget. So please be very, very careful and listen to the directions so that doesn't happen, okay? But we are gonna keep going. We're gonna do a sea urchin. So that starts like a little circle. And then you're just gonna put spikes all over, going from every directions, as you can see here. It's a little reflection, but hopefully you can see the sea urchin has all these spiky lines coming out of it. You can make it look like a hedgehog almost. Okay, so it's a circle and out of it a lot of lines are coming out for the sea urchin. Like that. Lots of lines, spiky lines, shorter, longer. Make a lot of texture with the lines like that. And the next one, we can do this little coral right here. So it's like an oval. Let's put it in the back of this sea urchin. And it has like a little flower on top. So little lines of the coral right on top. Almost like a flower. And then it has another. It's like an opening here that goes inside. That's another type of coral. Here we have a different coral and different tiny little fish that look like little needlefish. So we can also put a starfish. How about we put a little starfish right here somewhere? If you have a space, anywhere you have space, you can put a starfish. And starfish has tiny little dots all over it. This is how it's gonna look so cool when we print it. It's gonna be so awesome. And we can put these prints on anything, so we can make big walls of coral. So you can put tiny little fish, almost like little needlefish in the background, so they look like they're swimming somewhere further away. I'm pushing a little bit on them, swimming everywhere. If you have space, fill them with tiny little swarming fish that are small. They don't need to have too much definition. It's just a line, a little oval line like that to give it a little bit movement so it looks like fish are swimming everywhere, even in front of the anemone, on top of it or wherever. I'm going to put a little brain coral in here next to the staghorn. That's sort of like an oval, like a stone with little indentations inside. They're made of limestone. We're having so much science here today. So calcification of coral reef happens by warming waters. The waters are too warm, and then the corals turn white and stop growing. Let's put some tube coral in here. These are, like, I believe, tube corals right here. This is such a nice scene. But there's another scene here. These are the sea finger coral. It's soft, almost feels like a sponge. And we can actually, in front of the coral, with little clips, attach life like fish and crabs into the scene. So that's going to be a wonderful composition, just like you see here. They're just going to be hanging in front of it, or being cut out and standing right there. Okay. So what we're working on is these. So I'm just going to put little tubes of coral like that. Anywhere you have space. I'm working on 2 cards just so I show you different ones you can use. All different ideas for underwater scene. Maybe I'm gonna put a little eel here, eel head coming from the side, little scales, little eel. Eel is like a snake, but it's like a fish too, really long one. Maybe he's hiding there. You can put a little snail, anything that you have space for. Snail down here, like that. Maybe a little more of those little fish swimming everywhere. Maybe this eel is trying to eat a little tiny fish. It's gonna have to try to hide in the coral from the eel. And just like that, we have our background scene, and watch our next video on how to transfer it to the papers and how to make a print. But that's all, folks, today. Now is your turn.